All right, Sunday night lights, let's call it. Sunday night lights. Coach Micheal Burt, hope you guys are doing great. It's Sunday night, and I was just thinking, get my notepad out so I can make some notes here. I was just thinking about coming to you tonight and bringing maybe a Pray Drive activator for your week for this week. Okay, so we got week of Christmas. So I'm making notes here. Christmas week. People ask me all the time, Freddie Blanton, how do I map out my weeks? And I talk about this in the new book, Flip the Switch, how I map out a week. But the first thing you got to do, really, before you even get into mapping out your weeks, is Thomas C. Davidson. You gotta make up your mind that you're going to have the courage to make some big decisions. Okay, so when you think about this, I just made a decision to purchase something a minute ago I've been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit down right now and do it. And I was thinking there's probably 3 to 5 big decisions that we all need to make. You're probably looking at your numbers and you're going, okay, this is where I'm going to end up in 2022, right? We're coming down the finish line. We got about 2 weeks left. This is what my revenue is going to be. This is what my profit margin is going to be. And you're either going to say, I'm excited we did this, or you're going to say, you know what? We got to do better. And we start stepping back and we start asking, how do we double that number? And that's going to come through big decisions, Justin McLaughlin, that you got to make. And the decision, okay, the decision is who. One big decision is who can help you, not how. We know that. It's probably going to come in the form of hiring somebody. Could be somebody to coach you that knows how to do something you don't know how to do. Could be in bringing on more team members. It could be, right? But the key thing is you're going to have the courage to make some different decisions than you made in 2022. So when you sit down this week to map out your week, the way I look at it is you really have about 2 weeks left to make some big decisions on the products you're going to offer in 2023, on the services you're going to offer in 2023, on the staff, on how you're going to go achieve. And if you don't really spend some time doing this, guys, you're going to wake up at the end of 2023 and you're going to get somewhere around the same result. I remember many years ago when at the end of the year, I sat down with my accountant and she said, Coach, you made, I don't know what it was, maybe $200,000 or $300,000 more dollars than I did the year before. And I was livid. And I said, we went a whole year. I worked that hard and we only made, like she sat down and telling me, this is a good thing, Coach, you made $300,000 or $400,000 more dollars this year than you did last year. And I literally sat down and I was livid. And I'm like, I worked that hard to make that little more. I'm looking for 40% or significant amounts of growth. I'm like, you come back to me when we can figure that. Well, an accountant can't tell you that. They don't know how to grow your business 40%. So when you sit down to make your decisions this week, it's literally to step back, slow down, and go, okay, what are my biggest opportunities available to me that are both highly enjoyable and highly profitable? We call those level 10s. Then there's some people still stuck in the red zone, right? This is what I'm going to be talking about with my monster producers tomorrow. There's people in the red zone that you got to get across the finish line to get on the revenue books for this year. There's red zone people. And here's the deal. You got to find their fear. You got to find their fear, and you got to bring them courage. I'm thinking of one guy right now. I hope he watches this tonight. And he's told me for 7 days he's going to make a decision. He's going to hire me to be his coach. I'm going to help him grow. He's going to do all these things. Man, he's scared to death. He gets excited, then he goes away, Diva. Then he gets excited, then he goes away. Then he gets excited, then he don't answer us. Here's the deal. I can't help him, man. I cannot help a person until they commit to something. Okay? So remember the cycle that Diva just mentioned. You don't have courage first. You have commitment first. Commitment comes before courage, folks. You commit to something, and then because of the commitment, you get courage. You go learn a new capacity or what's called a new capability, and then you have confidence. And you have confidence for one reason. You got a new capability. Okay? Daniel Hodges is right, man. At some point, it's like I was just sitting there a minute ago, I'm like, man, I'm committing to this. I've been talking about it for weeks. I'm going to sit down and purchase it right now. It's something I wanted to purchase for the business, and I'm just sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, man, make a freaking decision. Kill something off right here. So when you sit down and you map it out, Austin, doesn't matter to me if you map it out with a digital planner or you map out, I don't sell these anymore. I used to. I may get back. This may be something I bring back. I used to sell these monster producer planners. Okay, and I'd sit down and I'd literally map out my hit list, my farm club, my top 25. I didn't have a red zone in this. But it asked me, what are my 3 high-value activities for today? And these are 3 big wins that I want to get today. So when you're thinking about this concept of just committing to something, that is really the first step for so many people out there. You just won't commit, and because you won't commit, you really can't grow. You really can't get to the next level because you won't commit to making a decision. It's like me building a greatness factory. I committed first. I never raised any capital before. I didn't know what it's like to do a $7 million project. I didn't know if we could make it work or not make it work. It's going through the city right now, right? But I committed to it. And then it's like, all right, now we need some courage. Okay? Now we got courage. Now let's go learn how to do this. Now, once you learn how to do it, then you can have Greatness Factory 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I didn't get the courage first. I didn't get the confidence first. I actually got the commitment first. As Thomas C. Davidson said, don't be a Mitch. Okay, don't be a little Mitch. Daniel Hodges says that a lot. You got to just commit, man. And the commitment brings this. So when you're sitting down tonight and you're mapping out these final 2 weeks of the year, and you're like, all right, there's 2 things you really got to do, Brian White. You got to get this, you got to muscle this thing across the finish line. It ain't going to be perfect. It ain't going to be pretty. Forget about all that, folks. You got to muscle this thing across the finish line, number 1. And number 2, you gotta make some decisions on your commitments for 2023, and you got to step back because it's so easy. Because I sat down to map out today about 2 hours just mapping out all my dates, everything I wanted to do. It's so easy just to put things on the schedule and just repeat it and say, I hope we pick up another $1 million next year. I hope we do that. Versus stepping back, taking some time, reverse engineering it, and then going, Micheal Burgess, this is how we're going to pick up $5 million more or $10 million more. I need new strategy, new people, new relationship, new ponds to fish in, right? I can't get new results with old ways of thinking. Every significant break is first to break with an old way of thinking into a new way of thinking. So it really takes over the next couple of weeks. You really got to muscle across the finish line. And I want to encourage you to do that. And then you got to step back and you got to go, you know what? How do I significantly, it's like Sullivan used to say, you can 2 times a business by working harder, but you can't 10 times a business by working harder. You can 2 times it by working harder. And I see people get out of one role right into another role, and they're just trading one miserable thing for another miserable thing. And they never take the time to step back and ask, man, what am I supposed to be doing? And how do I distribute my talent to the world in a bigger way? And how do I go make it highly enjoyable and highly profitable? Right? Like there's some key questions I talked about at that Visioneering boot camp. We could send you the replay on that. So really, this concept of making a decision and backing, but it's not a decision. It's not a commitment, Matt Marshall, until it's backed up by time, money, energy, and resource, right? I went to Chuck McDowell's Christmas party last night. Wesley Financial, he invited me over, and we went over for about an hour. And what I loved about it was that all those people are in a fight. They all believe they're in a fight, good versus evil. They're helping people, right? They're helping people get out of timeshare deals. There's a sense of us versus them, right? And it ain't easy, but they all were bought in, right? Daniel Hodges, because our excuse department's been closed down. The complaint department's been closed down. The little Mitch department's been closed down. All of that's been closed down in my office. Now it's like, who wants to go play at that next level, and how can we make some big decisions here? Maybe we add a product line. Maybe we add new big relationships. Maybe we add new customer base. Maybe we add a new product or service. And we step back and we say, okay, what can we be the best in the world at? Where is there a need in the world, urgent and important, that we can fulfill? Where are there big recurring problems that we can solve? And then it really just takes a commitment, man. At the end of the day, it takes a commitment. And a commitment's not a commitment unless it's backed up by time, energy, and money. Okay, so tonight, what got me thinking about doing this talk for you guys tonight is I sat down and I made a purchase. Not a big purchase, $3,000 or $4,000, but it was something I've been thinking about and talking about for months. And I'm like, I'm doing it right now. By God, I'm doing it right now. And I think that's what we got to do, man. Is you got to sit down and you got to make some big decisions over the next couple of weeks. Owen Schrock. And you got to ask yourself, do you want to 2 times this next year? Do you want to 5 times it next year? Okay. And then what do you want to do? What are you trying to do, right? And so those are some questions I'm talking about right now. Everybody knows I'm in a big campaign to make the book a Wall Street Journal bestseller. And if you haven't got the book, Flip the Switch, I really want to encourage you. And we're going to be doing a big event on January 13th. I'm gearing everything up. I'm gearing everything up toward that January 13th event. But this week, me and Jay Kinder and Al Stacey, these guys have built an organization with about 10,000 people in it. We're going to be doing follow-up to millions on Tuesday from 1 to 2:30. Hour and a half on nothing but follow-up. And if you got teams of people, if you got people who, if you know your follow-up is weak, a lot of what I do is just present ideas and follow up like crazy. Present ideas and follow up like crazy. And I just call that initiating. I initiate, I connect, I locate an ambition, Mandy, and then I invite people to take an action, right? But the hardest part is just seeing all these people who want to do something, but man, they just can't commit to anything. They literally are just scared to death. I remember when I was 31 years old, Christy. Thank you, Christy. I remember when I was 31 years old, and I drove over and spoke to them that morning, and on the way back, I said, I'm retiring today. I'm going to retire from, it's the only thing I ever knew, guys, was basketball coaching. Since I was 15 years old, I was a basketball coach at 31, and I was scared to death. I was scared and excited at the same time. And I knew, man, I got to commit to this. I can never do both of these things. I can never be this basketball coach, high school basketball coach, and go around the world and speak and build this coaching business. In those days, I wouldn't even think about building a coaching business, Doug Martin. I was just new. I was a level 10 dude stuck in a level 4 vehicle. And it wasn't anything with the kids or the other people. It was just, man, kind of God saying to me, play at a higher level, man. You're talented enough to play at a higher level. Okay? Tommy said people that don't commit are also the people that can't follow up. Follow up equals finishing. That's right. And so this is if you follow me around all day long, you would see me just commit to things and to follow up like crazy and just see it through to its conclusion. And just keep pushing, Dustin, until I see it through to its conclusion. No matter what the conclusion is, no matter what the answer is. So 31 years old, I retired. I was scared to death. I remember freaking out. I remember going, what am I going to do, man? But I committed. And I had no selling system, no explanation of value. I had no follow-up. I didn't even know how to run a business. I didn't know the difference between an asset or a liability, Alejandro. And I just walked in and I made a decision. I'm leaving this and I'm doing this. I am leaving behind. I'm killing this off. And then I'm going to take action. And I didn't have anything. I didn't have any money, $7,500 in my bank account. And I just made a commitment, J Cash. And I just kept backing up that commitment every day with time and energy. And when I didn't have money, I backed it up with more time and more energy and more commitment. And the more I did it, the more courage I got, and the more skills I got, and the more confident I became. And Travis, it just kept working, man. Now we're in year 15 or 16 of this. And now I feel that we've shown a demonstrated capacity. We've done millions of dollars of revenue. I don't know how much over the last 16 years. That's a number I need to figure out. But it's been a significant number. And it has a lot to do with what I'm talking about tonight. Sitting down, making decisions, following those decisions up with commitment, even when you don't feel like it. That's really what the book Flip the Switch is about, okay? And seeing it through to its conclusion, okay? And if I can do it, you can do it, okay? So, sit down tonight. If there's, I think I write about this in the book. I know I did. Sit down and make out a list of things you're tired of messing with. You're tired of messing with. Okay, Tommy Davis said he 10 times his revenue since he joined our coaching program. Jay Cash is probably 10 times his revenue since being in our coaching program. Alejandro is going to 10 times his revenue in a coaching program. Okay, guarantee you, man. So I write about in the book a tired of messing around list. And I was on a plane one night. This is back before I was flying private. And I was on a Southwest plane, Steve. Dude beside me was eating chicken wings, had wing sauce all over his face, and all over the back of the seat. Whole back of the plane smelled like chicken wings. And I said, screw this, man. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to fly places private. I am tired of messing around with my potential, with my business, with my whatever. Okay? Because I made a decision that night, man. And I wrote out all these things I was just tired of messing with. Tired of lowering standards. I'm tired of dealing with these people. I'm tired of working with this person. I'm just tired of it. And that night, I made a lot of decisions. And I kept that yellow piece of paper. Tired of sitting by dude eating chicken wings on a public flight. You know, you don't eat chicken wings on a Southwest flight, folks. Come on, man. And that was critical for me because I just made a decision. And I backed that decision up with daily micro commitments every day. Small commitments. Just boom, boom. Every day I'm going to prospect. Every day I'm going to follow up. I'm going to earn my time off. I'm not going to take time off until, right? Okay, so I'm just going to keep pushing it until I get this thing across the finish line. And then when I figure out how to get it to a certain level, I'm going to keep hiring coaches. I'm going to keep getting better. I'm going to keep growing it. And then I'm going to take this thing to the next level. So that's what I'm talking about, Travis Welch. You got to get to that point where you sit down and make that list out, right? In the book, I literally told the publishers, I want people to be able to write in the book. I'm tired of messing around. A to B. This is my A. I'm going to B. So let's have a great week, guys. This is the week of Christmas. But the year's not over. We got 1 week. We got 2 weeks left in the year. And I'm going to muscle this thing to get it to the level that I set out back in January. And then I'm going to reset, and I'm going to turn around and do it again. So Tuesday, follow up to millions. Me and Jay Kinder and Al Stasic. These guys have generated millions of dollars through real estate. Got an organization called the Honey Badgers. Probably got 10,000 people in it. They're great dudes. They've really done it at a very high level. And if you're interested in just recommitting to your follow up, okay, it'll be me and those three guys. Tuesday 1 to 2:30. I appreciate you. I believe everybody needs a coach. Make sure you get a pre-order copy of that book, Flip the Switch. If you go to Amazon and come back, just go to my website, coachburt.com. It's right there in the middle. Do it. Get your receipt order. Bring it back. Get the January 13th event with me. Get 90 Days of Pray Drive. Get the recording of Visioneering, the 4 hours I did, right? And let's just keep on working, man. I believe in you guys. I can't do what I do without you. So thank you. You give me my purpose, all right? So I'm going to commit this week. You commit this week. Let's all make some commitments and back them up with actions, all right? Thank you, guys. Don't be a level 10 stuck in a level 4. Dustin, let's go.